we've been talking a bit about how the business and the industry is pivoting at this time. When it comes to the election specifically, give us a snapshot on how different events are in this election year versus the last election year.
Thanks for having me, Emily. It's great to see you. This year is an exceptional year as compared to 2016. We're seeing events related to the election and voting up over 30% as compared to that election season. We're seeing about half of those events happening online, and the other half are happening in person through things like phone bank volunteering or small socially distanced events. So there's a high degree of activity happening right now. And really, I feel like it's like the people are rising. They're showing up. On Eventbrite, we launched Ticket to Vote, which we announced with you a couple months ago. We've had over 20,000 registrations in terms of people voting while they're also buying a ticket to an event.
Now, what about more broadly? What sort of activity are you seeing on the platform? How many of those events overall are virtual versus in person?
Well, the vast majority of events today on Eventbrite are in-person events. These are smaller, hyper-local community events that are coming back in a socially distanced and safe way. You know, there's the average attendance of an event on Eventbrite is less than 50 attendees. So these are really the bread and butter of our platform. And as we see creators become more and more creative in terms of bringing events back to the real life space, we're seeing really delightful things happen. My favorite one right now is Seltzerland, which is happens on a golf course, and it's a hard seltzer tasting event where you come with a group of 7 people or less. You wear masks as you're traversing the tees, and you're able to have a good out in the open with friends in a really safe way.
You're also announcing that you've hit over 1 million events in 2020. How is that number compared to what you thought you would hit, or is it more, is it less?
Well, the 1 million number is exciting because it's virtual events that have happened this year, which, as you recall, was a very small part of our business coming into 2020. And as COVID hit, it was a nice shock absorber for our customers' businesses to have the ability to pivot to virtual events. So while they're not the vast majority of the events that are on the platform today, they are growing, and they're a significant way for our creators to pivot. And I think one of the really interesting things about online events is it gives creators a way to not only connect with their communities and keep that connection going, but also be able to expand to a global audience. And that's been something that the Eventbrite platform has done really well for them, is help them drive demand to a more just global audience in general for their previously hyperlocal events.
Now, this week we saw Zoom announce a comprehensive solution for folks to host and monetize virtual events. What does that mean for you? Is that a concern?
You know, I think it's important to put it into context and understand the focus and product differentiation. So, you know, we're in a big market, and we have a big addressable market, and online events are a COVID-related phenomenon. So it makes sense that people want to be in that space, and that, you know, people are looking to participate in that value chain. I think that what Zoom does is really connect us very well. And I have a lot of respect for the company, which is why we integrated Eventbrite with Zoom. And the Eventbrite Zap actually allows for Eventbrite customers to take advantage of the depth of our solutions, as well as have ease of use for streaming their events. And I think that the product differentiation is simple. You know, we wake up every day and live and breathe events. We have gone really deep in understanding the needs of the frequent creator, and we offer self-service and complex ticketing needs. So we've seen a lot of people enter this space in 2020. As with Facebook or Google, it typically goes to a point of simple ticketing. You know, it's harder to go deeper with a core customer when it's just a product line versus everything that we do, we build for the event creator. So I think it's a validation of our business. I'm excited to have, you know, more innovation and competition in this space. And we're really focused on giving our creators what they need to be successful.
Now, as you look ahead, we're heading into winter. There's bound to be a winter flare across this country. How are you planning your future? How are you mapping out your objectives when we have no idea how much longer this is going to go on or how bad it is going to be?
Well, we're really focused on the next 3 years because we can't predict what's going to happen next month, as you know. And certainly we have, shored up our own company expenses. We've raised capital to have more than 6 years of runway at this current burn rate. We are prepared for the worst. But as we look at the 3 year horizon, I think something really magical is going to happen. We will gather again, and hyper local, smaller events are going to be the ones that bring us back together because we'll feel safe. We'll feel like we can control our environment. And again, that's our bread and butter. That is the vast majority of the million creators that are on our platform today. So we're pretty fired up, Emily. We've gone through something that many businesses have never seen in their history. And we're focused on the sort of 3 year horizon and where we want to be at the end of those 3 years.